Hi, I'm Diane Paulson, and I'm a senior leader this year at CBS. And I'm also co-leading the co-ed core group, so I'm having lots of fun doing that. Tonight, the title of my opening is Live in Peace. So here we go. In Romans 12, 16 through 18, ESV version, the Apostle Paul tells us, live in harmony with one another, do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Ouch. When reading this, it makes me think back to my early days of CBS. I was in my late 20s, trying hard to be a good Christian. I was going to CBS, attending church regularly, and generally trying to be a good person. One year, in one of my core groups, there was a person who really annoyed me. She would ask stupid questions, very basic questions that I didn't think we should waste our time on. Our time in core was precious and limited, and she was asking things that I didn't think were necessary. This happened week after week, with me being annoyed every time. Then I kind of paused and I thought, how would I answer these questions if they were posed directly to me? If someone asked me something fundamental about why I believe in God, could I answer them in a way that made sense? And suddenly, they didn't seem like such bad questions because I struggled with how I would actually respond if directly asked. I spent some personal time formulating answers in my mind, which was really just being able to defend my faith, why I believe what I believe. And suddenly those questions didn't seem so stupid anymore. They seemed vitally important. The weeks passed, and by the end of the year, I loved this woman with her honest, simple questions. The next year at CBS, I was placed into a totally different core group. We did the usual introductions the first night and then came back week 2, ready to discuss our lesson. Guess what? There was someone who really annoyed me. I thought, okay, God, I think you are trying to teach me something. I'm going to open my heart to what you have in store for me. So I sat back and watched how God caused me to grow to love this person over the course of the CBS year. It was exciting. So the next year came around. The first night during introductions, I found myself wondering who it was going to be this year. Who was going to annoy me? It was exciting thinking about how God would allow me to see her through his eyes and how I would come to love this person with God's help. Imagine my disappointment when there was no one who annoyed me. God, really? I wanted to see you work. But he said, you get it now. You learned the lesson I was trying to teach you. Many more years have passed, and many more core groups have been formed with me in them. Occasionally, there has been someone who I look at and I think, you could really get on my nerves. But I know, with a little patience on my part, that I will love them by the end of the CBS year. And I know that I have truly learned the lesson that God was trying to teach me all those years ago, which was to put aside your annoyance and be willing to see others through my eyes. You may be surprised. Back to that scripture I mentioned at the beginning, Romans 12, 16 through 18. I heard a short teaching on Christian radio about living in peace with everyone, if possible. I thought back to that first annoying person in my core group all those years ago. Maybe I need to revisit this lesson now. I found another version of that scripture, the New Century Version, that spoke to me. I'll go through it verse by verse. Romans 12:16. Live in peace with each other. Do not be proud, but make friends with those who seem unimportant. Do not think how smart you are. Have I been doing this? Well, I try to live in peace with people, but sometimes I find myself grumbling to a friend about how hard I'm trying to live in peace with someone else. I don't think that's what God had in mind. It says to make friends with those who seem unimportant. Do not think how smart you are. Am I doing that? Well, actually, I have a good example of this in my mother that I have observed my whole life. All types of people have always been drawn to her, and she accepts everyone. She acknowledges everyone. And I can't even tell you how many people consider her a mother figure to them. She doesn't think anyone is unimportant. She makes everyone feel like they are worthy and valued, and she gives them all the time they need. She listens to them. I need to be more like her because I think I'm definitely falling short in this regard. Chapter 12, verse 17 says, if someone does wrong to you, do not pay him back by doing wrong to him. Try to do what everyone thinks is right. Okay, I'm not a super vengeful person trying to pay back people who have wronged me, but sometimes I do gossip to others when I have felt wronged. It's not a good look. That word gossip is way more dangerous than I like to acknowledge, and it really has no place in my life. This could definitely use more work. If someone wrongs me, I need to go straight to God and talk to Him about how I'm feeling, not go gossip to my friends. Verse 18 says, do your best to live in peace with everyone. This is really the bottom line, isn't it? It does not say you have to like everyone. It does not say you have to be friends with everyone. It does not say you must never be hurt or angry or frustrated with anyone. It simply says, do your best to live in peace with everyone. We can feel what we feel, but that doesn't mean we can't live in peace with everyone. There is a couple at my church who post a lot on Facebook. Many of their posts are potentially hurtful to those who hold a different opinion from them. I really struggled with this because I didn't like the way I was thinking about them. God led me to make it a point to engage them on Sundays and show them kindness rather than trying to avoid them, which is what I wanted to do. Week after week, I would approach them and engage in conversation. Did their appropriate posts stop? No. But the verse does not say, live in peace if other people will conform to your views or make adjustments in their behavior. I realized I did not have to agree with them on everything, yet I still needed to show them love in order to keep my heart from hardening. When we are truly walking with God, He is the source of our peace. He is providing that peace and helping us to do our best. Thankfully, we don't have to do this on our own, because I don't think I could. I'm glad I revisited this lesson, learned so many years ago in my CBS core group, because I think the lesson has gotten a little bit rusty in my life. So now I'm going to take some steel wool and scrape off that rust and get down to the business of doing my best to live in peace with everyone and go straight to God when I am finding that difficult to do. Thanks for listening.